So you've been grinding zero build ranked mode. Stomping through pub matches just haven't been giving you the same dopamine hit as those wins in ranked. But unfortunately, you're constantly getting lobbied, you've plateaued, some can even say that you're hard stuck. And the thought of ever hitting Unreal slowly vanishes. What can we do when this happens? What's going on, guys? My name is Raphoria and I've been an Unreal ranked zero build player for the past 2 seasons. My goal today is to give you another perspective as well as some insight on why you may not be climbing anymore. If you found this video helpful, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let's jump right into it. So the difference in how ranked matches play out in comparison to pubs is a whole different beast. I think it's safe to say that you have to play a lot more conservative than you would normally. And what's worse than a campy, ratty waiting game? Literally nothing. And that's why my first tip is, if you can't beat them, join them. I know this sounds crazy, but your goal is to make it to endgame, right? That's where a majority of your points will accumulate and ultimately will determine whether or not you gain a lot of percentage. So what do? You play passively and actively use the element of surprise. So this involves you finding a good drop spot where you're comfortable landing at. That's hopefully not a named POI. There are tons of spots on the map that have average to great amounts of loot without them having to be a named POI. Your goal is to have a full loadout before even thinking about pushing anyone. This means you need a set of heals, a set of mobility and or utility. You need 2 to 3 weapons, being a shotgun, an AR/SMG, and ideally a sniper. Only take third parties where you for sure know that the outcome results in a quick fight plus refresh. And if there's ever an opportunity to mod your weapons, which I know is probably less than 30% of the time, you should definitely do that. But of course, you should never force this. My next tip would be to avoid playing solos if you're struggling to rank up. Solos is by far the most ratty experience you'll ever get. There are people in these games that will die IRL if they die in game. So you got to be prepared for that. The great thing about duos and squads is that there is more room for error than there is in solos. One little mistake in solos can send you right back to the lobby. I will say though that the only benefit that solo ranked has is that you will get probably a lot more percentage playing solos than you would in duos or squads. But of course, if you don't know how to play games out, this can be a very miserable experience. My suggestion would be to try to find someone that is a little bit higher ranked than you. For example, if you are in gold, try to find someone that is plat or low diamond that can IGL for you so you don't make impulsive decisions. And do not forget how important communication is. A well-coordinated diamond team can easily take out an elite or champion team that's disorganized and doesn't communicate well. My next tip is to rotate early and try to play dead side as much as possible. This means moving into the next zone way before the storm is on your back and positioning yourselves to kill people who decide to rotate late. Playing dead side just means being on the side where the least amount of players can rotate in from. This usually can be determined by the direction that the zone pulls. For example, some easy indicators would be if the next circle is on the most southern edge of the map, then you can guess that nobody to very little people would be rotating in from the edge of the map where the water is. You want to position yourself so you can eliminate the possibility of multiple teams closing in on you from multiple directions. Alright, up next is an interesting concept that might not make sense to a lot of people, but this applies to those who are playing duos and squads. And that is, you need to analyze your fights better. What do I mean by this? For instance, if your teammate gets picked off away from the team, it is arguably better to just wait and play for the cards. You shouldn't have to go and force a fight when you're already down 1 player. More often than not, the team that eliminated your teammate will often sit on the card and just wait for you guys to come back. Another good example, in a squad scenario, if you see that your team hasn't got any knocks yet and you're already down 2, it's probably better to not try to force anything and just disengage early. You should take advantage of whatever mobility that you have and just make some space. This not only puts you in a better position where you can potentially fight the enemy team one by one as they're pushing you, but you can also just completely reset, heal, and try grabbing the cards later to extend your game's life. And this last tip can elevate your gameplay with little to no effort, and that is to abuse vehicles for rotations. It is really easy to get hard focus while rotating out in the open. That is why abusing vehicles, especially the G-Wagon, is very useful. If you ever watch Prospering play, you would know that this guy practically lives inside of a G-Wagon. He is taking advantage of using the vehicle to take as little damage as possible while also giving him some cover on the go. Arguably, it is better to take the 50 damage when the car explodes than to get headshot sniped or even full focus by a team that is lasering you with ARs. It is even better to have a set of mobility that you can use when you can't use the car anymore. In theory, you will have a full set of charges on your mobility item because you didn't use it to rotate initially. Not only that, but you can use your vehicle as a structure. You can position the car so that the driver's side is on the opposite side facing the enemy, so when you get out of the car, you will have some cover that you can go in and out from. And there you have it, guys. Those are my tips for those that are struggling to climb in zero build ranked. It is very important to keep in mind these type of things that don't really require you to level up your aim or mechanics in order to improve the quality of your ranked games. Once again, guys, if you found this video helpful, be sure to drop a like on the video, maybe even comment on what you guys want to see next. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.